Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are continuing with my Archaeologist's Guide to Minecraft. Now last time we built what I now often refer to as Fort Knox, otherwise known as my chicken coop. And this time I thought we would add one more animal to our farm. It's time for some cows. I actually live streamed the video for this episode and it was tons of fun building the barn with some of you. Cows were first domesticated around 10,500 years ago, and just like there were multiple domestication events for chickens, there were also multiple places where people domesticated cows independently of each other. Seriously guys, humanity is so smart. One of those domestication events was in central Anatolia, the Levant, and western Iran, where humans first domesticated the wild aurochs. The aurochs stood up to 180 centimeters or 71 inches at the shoulder, which is honestly taller than the average person where I live here in Scotland. The horns were also about 80 centimeters or 31 inches long. That and the height made the aurochs one of the Pleistocene megafauna. Another domestication event happened in what is now Pakistan, where humans are believed to have domesticated a subspecies of aurochs that originated in the Indian subcontinent. This domestication gave rise to what we now call zebu. Zebu are known for having a hump on their shoulders and a large dewlap. Zebu are particularly well adapted to hot climates, and these are the type of cattle that often have significant religious meaning in certain regions of the world, including many parts of India. Just as there are different types of chickens that are better for meat and others that are better for eggs, there are also certain types of cattle that are better for meat and others that are better for dairy. On top of that, there are also certain cattle breeds that are better for serving as draft animals, like oxen or bullocks to pull carts, wagons, plows, or any number of other things. Cattle are also really useful for their manure, which can be used to fertilize the soil or even as a type of fuel for a fire or stove. Cow hides are used for leather too, although most cattle are not used only for leather. It's usually more of a byproduct of beef production. We've already seen that cows are important in Minecraft for their leather. Leather is used to create leather armor in this game, and it's also used to make item frames, horse armor, and, importantly, books. We haven't talked much about books yet in this game, but they're very important for upgrading your equipment, and if you play on a server, they're a nice way to communicate with other players. Interestingly, cowhide in Minecraft can't be used for something that it's often used for today, making parchment, or more technically, vellum. Vellum is a writing material similar to paper or papyrus that is made from untanned cowhide, and usually that of a young calf. Vellum was used at least as early as about 2500 BC, and Herodotus says that it was a common practice in the 5th century BCE. Some famous examples you might have heard about are the illuminated manuscripts of medieval Europe, the Declaration of Independence and US Constitution, several Gandharan Buddhist texts, and every Sifre Torah. Parchment, and vellum in particular, are actually still used today for things like religious texts, legal documents, and land records, including British Acts of Parliament, although it's not as popular as it was in the medieval period, for example. Speaking of legal documents, cattle are also one of the most commonly mentioned animals in various regional and national laws, dating at least as far back as the Code of Ur-Nammu, or Hammurabi's Code, from about 2100 BCE. Cattle theft is often mentioned in historical legal documents, along with the proper mechanisms for taxing cattle or for paying your taxes in cattle, depending on the laws. Cattle raiding or stealing someone else's cattle is also mentioned in the Rig Veda, the Tanbakulnya, or the cattle raid of Kuli, one of the Homeric hymns to Hermes, and in the Mahabharata. But as I said already, cattle aren't only kept for their hides. In fact, they're usually kept for meat or dairy. Interestingly, the only dairy product you can have in vanilla Minecraft is milk, which you can get by milking a cow, a goat, or an animal called a mushroom, which is a mushroom cow. It's a video game, just go with it. Milk can only be crafted into cake in Minecraft, but most players actually prefer to just drink it straight. In Minecraft, drinking milk gets rid of any status effects you might have, positive or negative. So if you're poisoned, slowed, weakened, withered, or maybe you got bad omen and you don't want to start a raid on your nearby village, drinking milk will get rid of that status effect for you. The same is definitely not true in the real world, and in fact most of the world can't digest lactose, which means that they struggle with digesting dairy products like milk. Milk and dairy are good for people who can digest them since they have calcium, vitamins D and B12, and a whole host of other nutrients. But for people who can't digest it, milk can actually be more harmful than helpful. There are also hundreds of types of cheeses and butters and creams and other milk-based products that exist in our world that don't currently exist in Minecraft. You also also can't craft anything beef related in Minecraft either. All you can do is either, well, technically you could eat it raw if you really want to, or you can cook it into steak, either on a campfire or in a furnace or a smoker. But in the real world, many parts of the animal are eaten worldwide, including the meat, organs, bones, feet, tongue, head, tail, and also blood. In fact, in many cultures, as many parts of the animal are used as possible so that we're not just killing a cow for some steaks. Oh my goodness. It took a very long time to get these cows here, and we did end up losing our sheep on the way. I just didn't feel like killing all of the wolves in the area, so before we get some sheep here, I do want sheep here, but before we get any sheep here, we are gonna need to figure out what to do about the wolf situation. So that's it for cows, and that's also it for now in terms of our farm animals, because the sheep, we kind of need to figure out the wolf situation, and then the other farm animals, I'm not so sure that I want to worry about them just yet. There's also a really big step in Minecraft that I haven't really been avoiding, but I definitely haven't done yet, and that is the whole mining part of Minecraft. I haven't gone underground, I haven't really harvested much stone, and I certainly haven't mined any coal or copper or iron or really much of anything, honestly. I've been using leather armor and stone tools for a while now, and I would really like to get my hands on some iron. So next episode, I think it's time to start building a mine and to get our hands on some iron armor and iron tools. If you enjoyed the episode, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And if you're enjoying this series, or if you want to get an alert when I live stream, feel free to hit that notification bell too. That's all from me for today. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!